I was an idiot and cheated. I regret it every day. I met my ex while at university in 2014. She was beautiful and so much fun. We were 19 and she had a partner, but we soon started spending all our time together. We didn't technically kiss or have sex, but we were very touchy and spending a lot of time together, hanging out just the two of us in her room. We sort of knew how each other felt. But she had her boyfriend and went to visit him a couple times at his uni. I eventually came out with how I felt about her, and she agreed to break up with her boyfriend. And then we became official. It felt like it was meant to be, and we were crazy about each other. I missed so many lectures in first year, just spending all my time with her. After uni, we moved in together, then ended up buying a house, and about 9.5 years into our relationship, we got married, 2014. It was the best day of my life. We had a great friendship group together, both from uni as well as with my friend from back home. We lived close to where I grew up. We'd spoken about having kids, and in 2017 planned a holiday, and were ruling out places which had the Zika virus, which was a thing at the time, because we were likely going to have kids that year. Then in February 2017, I was sent on a work trip for a couple of months to another city. I'd be there during the week, but back at weekends. I was there with a bunch of colleagues, most I hadn't met before. We would all hang out together for lunch, as well as go out for dinner and drinks in the evening. Everything was on work expenses, so it was really fun exploring the various restaurants and bars every night with this new group of friends. One of these people was a girl who I bonded with. She was attractive and charming. We ended up spending a lot of time together, and both ended up getting feelings for each other, and I fell hard. She also had a boyfriend, but one night we ended up sleeping together. I regret this so much. I need to just say that, but at the time, it felt otherworldly. It felt like it was meant to be. It felt like I absolutely needed to be with her. And she was into me too. I can only guess what heroin is like, but this was such an unbelievable high, and I became completely obsessed and addicted. Everything else declined. My relationship with my wife, my work, my friendships, my relations with my family members, everything took a backseat. Every free moment was spent thinking and obsessing over her. It went on for several months. We spoke about leaving our partners. She said she wanted to marry me and have kids together. I had started to withdraw from my wife. I didn't mention trying to have kids anymore, and we didn't. I could feel myself starting to tear in two. I was still completely obsessed, but this other girl then started to back away, and deep down I doubted it would ever really turn into the life with her I wanted. My wife was perfect, but the obsession provided a sort of fire blanket over my senses and other emotions. Increasingly, the guilt and stress of it all would come out. I was crying constantly. I never cried before that. I'd break down in tears while cuddling on the sofa with my wife, or while shopping in the supermarket. I'd stop working to find a quiet bench to just break down on. My head and my heart were a complete mess. I'd be on holiday with my wife, having the time of our lives, but I'd still be dreading the possibility that this other girl would lose interest in me. And slowly she was. She'd text, asking me to take her out to dinner, and I would drop everything and just travel across town to take her out for a meal. But I'd come back feeling shit about it all, how she was just using me, and I'd promised myself that I'd cut her off. But the next morning I'd start obsessing again, worrying what I should do or say to rekindle things. She would sometimes ghost me for days or weeks, and then want meetup. I'd be on my way over to meet her, telling myself, just turn around, just go home, don't do this. But I'd carry on. I'd see her, pay for everything, and put in all the effort to make sure she had a great time. But she wouldn't say thank you or do anything nice for me. Now and then, though, we'd still hook up, and I'd feel like I was winning her back, and she'd say she was going to break up with her boyfriend and wanted to live together, but then might just ghost me days later. It was torture, but it was also torture for my wife. She was deeply worried about me and trying to hold our marriage together. She was crying on the way to work and becoming depressed, and I was terrible at supporting her. All my energy and focus was elsewhere. This whole period is deeply shameful, but there were also some particular moments that I really was awful in terms of abandoning her when she needed me in favor of this other girl. At the time, I was kind of numb to it, but I still feel awful about it now. It gives me a headache and crushes me inside. I feel disgusted about it. But I wasn't thinking or feeling like my normal self back then. Eventually, my wife found out. She found messages I'd saved in my emails. The irony was at that same evening in January 2018. I remember being with her and mutual friends, and as I left to go with the guys, while she stayed with the girls, I remember giving her a hug and a kiss and thinking, OMG, I love you so much. You. At last, these feelings for this other girl are starting to disappear. My feelings are realigning to where they should be. I could see again how beautiful, fun, caring, and important she was to me. I felt like I was starting to heal. And then I got home and found a note on the front of the door saying, don't come inside. I know. Please stay at your dad's. I went in, tired and a little drunk, but confronted her, asking her what was going on. She was devastated, crying and screaming, asking, how could you? I can still hear her saying it and see the agony on her face. I went and stayed at my mom's for several weeks. We ended up speaking about it, but I denied the fact we had sex. Everything I did in this whole period was wrong, but I felt like I should hide that from her to avoid causing her additional hurt. Despite this, I still was unhealthily obsessed with the other girl. It was nearly about a year since I'd met her, and we weren't having sex or even kissing anymore. But I was still focused on her. We were still meeting at work for lunches, or I'd take her out for dinner. Then my wife said we could try and work things out, and I moved back in. But I didn't stop talking to the other girl, or meeting up with her. My wife found out about that 2 months later, and I was back out again, this time at my dad's. My mom was too disappointed to take my back in again. My wife still loved me, and I think she knew I did love her too, but the trust was broken and she kept her distance. I was devastated, but also dealing with what felt like an addiction. As 2018 passed into 2019, I eventually lost all interest in the other girl, growing to despise her and see her for what she really was. She had admitted to basically cheating on every boyfriend she'd ever had, apart from her first, who I think she was still in love with and still sometimes saw and flirted with. She had just seen me, a married man, as a challenge for her own ego boost. She saw how upset I was throughout the whole period and showed no sympathy or support, even though I would travel across town, or even the country, to cheer her up if she'd had a slightly bad day at work. And then she started flirting with other guys. I saw her even message a guy about going to stay with him for a weekend. I hated her. My wife ended up meeting someone else at the end of 2018, and they're still together. I think they're getting married soon. Not a single day goes by that I don't miss my now ex-wife. She was literally perfect. I have dated a lot of people since then, and no one has ever come remotely close. Not 10%. She is a beautiful, generous, inspiring person. I miss hearing her say, stay close, as we fell asleep in bed together. I miss squeezing together on the sofa. I miss her laugh and her smile. I miss hearing her call me her nicknames. I miss reassuring her when other people upset her. I miss everything about her. Every day, wherever I am, whoever I'm with, I'll wish she was there. I haven't had one happy day since. I also miss who I was before. I hate that I hurt her, abandoned her, lied to her, and cheated. So why did I do it? I did terrible things I am deeply ashamed of. But I don't think I'm a terrible person. I went to a lot of therapy and understand better why it happened. We'd been together since we were 19. I had had some sexual experiences before we met, but not a lot and not full sex. During my 20s, I had thought people were attractive, but never felt anything for anyone else. Only my wife. I had entertained little fantasies, threesomes, etc., like most of us do. But over time, I felt a growing sense of having missed out. This was also partly due to my work. I had spent a lot of time studying and had missed out on a lot of festivals and traveling which my friends had experienced. I had a lot of FOMO. But I also felt like I had missed out sexually on sleeping with different people. I didn't talk to her about it because it would just have hurt her, so just repressed and ignored it. It felt shameful to acknowledge that I might have sexual desires which either didn't involve my wife or which she wouldn't be interested in. Another big factor was that part of me wanted validation. Was I sexually desirable to other people, or just her? Again, when I had these thoughts, I just dismissed them. I brushed them aside, but not completely away, and somewhere they lingered. Just to be clear, I wasn't constantly thinking about other women. Not at all. But I did have a strong general sense of FOMO, which had a sexual element, and a lingering feeling of, did other people find me attractive? When I was told about the work trip, I think a part of me already saw it as a last opportunity to have missed out on experiences before having kids and settling down, not explicitly consciously trying to achieve that, but maybe deep down a part of me was hoping for something. When I met that girl, and we went out for dinner as a group for the first time, I sat opposite her and we spoke all evening. Her eyes sparkled as she smiled and showed real interest in me. Suddenly a lot of that validation I had wanted was there. I was now far away from my real life, in a situation where this attractive girl seemed attracted to me. She'd then messaged me a lot, flirting and regularly asking if I was free to meet for lunch. A deep part of me now saw her as all the missed opportunities combined. She was my golden ticket to a magical future. My emotions ran wild with it, and I became besotted. The fact we couldn't really be together made it feel so much more important. It's all very cliche. I should have known better. I should never have got close to her. I should have pulled back when I felt myself getting close. I should have been honest with my wife. These things are obvious, but they're obvious when your judgment isn't clouded the way mine was. When I told my ex about all these feelings, it hurt her because it was similar to how we felt for each other when we got together at uni. She had a partner at the time, but we felt that what we had was so special that it was worth it. And it was... Neither of us regretted it, and we were better behaved. But when similar feelings came about years later with that other girl, they were feelings I thought I had to follow up on. It felt like something I had to do. This has also taught me a lot about the nature of love. I distinguish now between infatuation and real love. The infatuation locks you in to spend time with someone, but real love takes time to grow. The infatuation can last up to 2 years, but love really lasts forever. I know this. It's like being an old widower whose wife passed away decades ago. The grief of losing gets easier, but the love will always be there. Let me be clear, though. FOMO/validation/addiction/ etc. None of this is a justification for anything I did. I hate what I did. I hate people who cheat. If there's any takeaway for people reading this, it's don't cheat. It ruined my life. I've struggled in my career since, lacking motivation to work. All I want is to experience that love again, to be a husband and father, to have a reason to get up and go to work. I would give anything to undo what I did. If the devil appeared and said, here's a button. If you press it, then you can undo it all and go back to before you went on that work trip. But you'll lose a limb or an eye or something. I would hit that button so fast, without hesitation. I'd genuinely take a knife in the stomach to take it all back. I know it's my fault. I feel like a drunk driver who drank too much and then hit and killed my own child. I never wanted to hurt her, but I was a complete idiot, careless about the consequences, and now living with the consequences every day. I'm happy that she's happy again, but I'm devastated it's not with me.